All right, let's look at some math problems. So we got some fractions going on here. What? You don't like fractions? You want to think of a cool way to get rid of fractions? Well, I just so happen to have a little fraction trick I'd like to share with you. We'll take all these equations and get rid of all of the fractions and still maintain equality.
Doing some math. Get those tools, cause we're doing some math. Don't forget all those rules, yeah, we're doing some math.
All right, let's say we have an equation and there's a couple of fractions in it and there's different fractions. First, we want to find a common multiple of the denominators. In this case, we got 3 and 5. A common multiple of both of those is 15. You can always get them by multiplying the two together. What we're going to do is we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by 15. We're going to have to distribute if you multiply by multiple terms on one side of the equal sign. And on the right side, we just have that one term x. It'll just be 15x when we multiply by 15. Now, when we multiply fractions by whole numbers, we can think of the whole numbers as over 1. And when we multiply fractions, multiply all of the numerators and multiply all of the denominators. I'll show you a little shortcut in a second. So in the first term, we have 15 times 1/3 x becomes 15x over 3. Oop, time to go. Just kidding. In the second term, we have 30 over 5. And in both cases, the fractions simplify to whole numbers. That's the cool part of the trick. Now we have an equivalent equation, no more fractions. Quick reminder of that procedure. Again, I'm going to mention this a couple of times in this video. We're going to find a common multiple of all of the fractions. It doesn't have to be the lowest common multiple, although that does make it easier. We just want to find a common multiple of all of the denominators. You can always find a common multiple by multiplying all of the denominators together. Not always the lowest common, but we don't need the lowest, we just need a common multiple. Then you're going to multiply both sides of the equation by that number, that common multiple you just found. The reason that we want to use one that's common to all of the denominators is because in the next step, when we simplify, all of the denominators are going to be able to factor out with the numerators because we chose the number. After you simplify, you can enjoy a nice, easy, fraction-free equation. In this example, the lowest common multiple, or LCM as all the cool kids say, is 12. So we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by 12. Now I'll show you a little shortcut here versus the last problem. You can simplify these fractions before you multiply. So like 12 and 3, you can divide the 3 out. 12 and 4, you can divide the 4 out. 12 and 6, you can divide the 6 out. This is a little shortcut so that you don't have to multiply the bigger numbers, you can multiply smaller numbers. You still have an equation at the end where you may even have a fraction as a final answer, but at least in the step 4x plus 3 equals 10, you have no more fractions. Alright, this trick also works if the variable x is in the denominator. So the lowest common multiple is going to be 6x. And we get that by multiplying the three denominators, 3 times x times 2. So it doesn't even matter if the variable's in the denominator. We're going to follow the same procedure once again. We find the lowest common multiple. We're going to then multiply both sides of the equation, which is every term on both sides of the equation, by that common multiple, 6x in this case. And because we chose that common multiple, that is a factor or shares factors with all of the denominators are going to factor out when we simplify. In the first term we divide out the 3. In the second term we divide out the x. So now what was the term that had the x, the middle term, when we multiply everything by 6x, the middle term doesn't have the x anymore. But the other two terms do. But either way, no more fractions. And we're left with a nice easy fraction-free equation that we can just continue to solve with normal methods. Quick reminder of the procedure once again. We're going to find a common multiple of all of the denominators. We're going to multiply every term on both sides of the equation by that common multiple, and when we simplify, we'll enjoy a nice fraction-free equation. Alright, why don't you go ahead and pause these and give it a try. I'll reveal the answers to these 3 in just a moment. And pause now. The answer's coming soon. Pause it. Alright, here it comes. If you like this video, make sure you drop an elbow on that like button. Go ahead and subscribe and hit the notifications. And some more math videos will be coming soon. Till next time.